Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina Worcester, and you already know what time it is. It is time for another reading roundup. I read 8 books in the month of June, which is above average for me. And yeah, let's just get right into it. First up is Immortal by Su Lin Tan. As the heir to Tianxia, Lien knows she must ascend the throne and renew her kingdom's pledge to serve the immortals who once protected them from a vicious enemy. But when she is poisoned, Lien's grandfather steals an enchanted lotus to save her life. Enraged at his betrayal, the immortal queen commands the powerful god of war to attack Tianxia. Upon her grandfather's death, Lien ascends a precarious throne, vowing to end her kingdom's obligation to the immortals. When she is summoned to the immortal realm, she seizes the opportunity to learn their secrets and to form a tenuous alliance to safeguard her people, all with the one she should fear and mistrust the most, the ruthless god of war. As they are drawn together, a treacherous attraction ignites between them, one she has to resist to not endanger all she is fighting for. But with darker forces closing in around them and her kingdom plunged into peril, Lien must risk everything to save her people from an unspeakable fate, even if it means forging a dangerous bond with the immortal, even if it means losing her heart. I liked this book. I don't usually read fantasy, but this one wasn't too hard to understand, and for being a romantasy, it was not overtly sexual, which is very good for me. Next up we have Throwback by Maureen Gu. Back to the Future meets the Joy Luck Club in this YA contemporary romance about a Korean-American girl sent back to the 90s to reluctantly help her teenage mom win homecoming queen. Being a first-generation Asian-American immigrant is hard. You know what's harder? Being the daughter of one. Samantha Kang has never gotten along with her mother Priscilla, and has never understood her bougie nightmare Jean Hugh's high school expectations. After a huge fight between them, Sam is desperate to move forward, but instead finds herself thrown back, way back. To her shock, Sam finds herself back in high school in the 90s with a 17-year-old Priscilla. Now this Gen Z girl must try to fit into an analog world. She's got the fashion down, but everything else is baffling. What is microfiche? What's with the casual racism and misogyny? And why does it feel like Priscilla is someone she could actually be friends with? Sam's blast to the past has her finding the right romance in the wrong time while questioning everything she thought she knew about her mom and herself. Will Sam figure out what she needs to do to fix things for her mom so that she can go back to a time she understands? Brimming with heart and humor, Maureen Gu's time travel romance asks big questions about what exactly one inherits and loses in the immigrant experience. I really enjoyed this book. It is my favorite book that I read this month. I thought it had a good mix of heart and time travel shenanigans. I will say there was a plot twist that I was able to predict from like pretty much the very beginning, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so the next book I read was Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko of Lemonade Mouth fame. The description of the book on Goodreads is inexplicably in like Portuguese, so just know it's about Coley and Sonia, and they're high school girls and they fall in love. I did not love this book. I thought it lacked a meaningful overarching plot. It felt more like a series of vignettes, and I just don't think that style of storytelling works for me. Next up we have Futbolista by Johnny Garzavilla. A classmates to friends to lovers romance that's equal parts raunchy, heartfelt, queer, and Mexican-American centered on college football. The real football. Gabriel Pina knows who he is, a college goalkeeper, a future Liga MX or MLS star, and definitely straight. He's starting his freshman year with a lot of eyes on him and even more potential, but he's got this. Nothing will have him straying off the path to greatness. That is until his philosophy classmate Vale volunteers to tutor him. Vale, the same guy who Gabby, in A Moment of History Repeating Itself, might have kissed very briefly, and only once, just to help him out at a party. Vale, the smart, supportive, compassionate new friend with beautiful brown eyes and a smile that keeps Gabby, for completely inexplicable reasons, constantly in a daydream. As a friendship blooms and the two spend more and more time together, Gabby finally begins to recognize something about himself. Maybe he's not as straight as he thought he was. But a larger and darker realization lingers. Someone like Gabby, a brown Mexican footballista with dreams of playing for El Tri, can't also be bisexual. He's seen the way his teammates and community react to queerness in their sport. It would be the exact type of straying off path that destroys his future. Or maybe Gabby could be brave enough to embrace all those parts of himself and forge his own path, one that includes a boyfriend and the beautiful game. A sports romance for those who keep rewatching Bend It Like Beckham and rereading Red, White, and Royal Blue and the incredible collection of queer football romances out there. Footballista follows the first semester of one guy's freshman year of college, navigating who he is, who he's allowed to be, and who he wants to be. The rainbow shirt feels very appropriate right now. We did have 2 queer books back to back. The description is not kidding when it says this book is raunchy. Just keep that in mind. Overall, I would say I enjoyed the story, but it felt very bro-ish. Like, it was definitely written by a man, if that makes sense. Next up, we have Shiver, a 25 before 25 book by Maggie Stiefvater. For years, Grace has watched the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, is a chilling presence she can't seem to live without. Meanwhile, Sam has lived 2 lives. In winter, the frozen woods, the protection of the pack, and the silent company of a fearless girl. In summer, a few precious months of being human, until the cold makes him shift back again. Now Grace meets a yellow-eyed boy whose familiarity takes her breath away. It's her wolf, it has to be. But as winter nears, Sam must fight to stay human, or risk losing himself and Grace forever. And I just realized that 2 of the books I read had main characters who went by Sam. Yeah, this book was okay. I would have appreciated more context, like just 50 pages of context would have been sufficient for me. Also, you can tell it was written in 2009, and that's all I'll say on that. Next up, we have another 25 before 25 book, The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The description for this book is inexplicably in Russian, so I'll just tell you it's about Cassie, who gets recruited to help the FBI solve cold cases. Once you get past the whole teenagers being recruited to the FBI thing, this is an enjoyable read. I did not see the plot twist coming, and yeah. The love triangle was a bit heavy-handed, but what can you do? Next up, we have my Lost in New York buddy read, Love on Paper by Danielle Parker. From the author of You Bet Your Heart comes a heartfelt romance about 2 aspiring teen novelists finding love, good food, and a little bit of mystery at an exclusive writer's retreat. Perfect for fans of K.L. Walther. The daughter of 2 prestigious writers, Maisie Descanso, has decided to take her own writing seriously. So what if her mother pulled some strings to get Macy into a prestigious writing retreat? Macy belongs here. But when she arrives, she learns that the theme has been changed to romance, per the request of the late prolific romance author Betty Quinn. Though a cynic, Macy lives for a challenge. What she's not prepared for is to be partnered with Caleb Bernard, also the child of 2 prestigious writers. The Descansos and Bernards notably have beef, a rivalry that has lasted generations. With something to prove, Macy and Caleb decide to put their family squabbles aside to work together as critique partners. But this retreat is anything but ordinary. According to lore, every year, authors leave Easter eggs behind for new students to find. Macy and Caleb are eager to solve Betty Quinn's mystery. And in the process, Macy and Caleb find that they have a lot in common. Still, will their connection be enough to surpass their family's feud? Can the relationship they've built continue after the retreat? I thought this story had a nice mix of romance and mystery. I did read it very slowly over the entire month of June, so it's not like I binged it. So I might not remember the beginning super well. But yeah, I liked this book. And last but not least, we have A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, which was my Snack of the Month book for the Lost in New York readathon. The beloved American classic about a young girl's coming of age at the turn of the century, Betty Smith's A Tree Grows in Brooklyn is a poignant and moving tale filled with compassion and cruelty, laughter and heartache, crowded with life and people and incident. The story of young, sensitive, and idealistic Francie Nolan and her bittersweet formative years in the slums of Williamsburg has enchanted and inspired millions of readers for more than 60 years. By turns overwhelming, sublime, heartbreaking, and uplifting, the daily experiences of the unforgettable Nolans are raw with honesty and tenderly threaded with family connectedness, in a work of literary art that brilliantly captures a unique time and place as well as incredibly rich moments of universal experience. Now, I don't know if A Tree Grows in Brooklyn was as good as all that. This was another book that didn't have much of an overarching plot, but I will say I did enjoy it more than I enjoyed Girls Like Girls, because it had an odd sort of charm about it that I could not explain to you even if I tried. And while we're here, it is the end of another quarter, so I would like to give a progress update on my 10 before the end of 2026. And not to brag, y'all, but I'm kind of killing it. Say a Little Prayer I've read, The Seven Torments of Amy and Craig I've read, Celestial Monsters I've read, The Blonde Eyes First I have not read, True Life in Uncanny Valley I have not read, Under the Same Stars I have read, Glorious Rivals I have read, Sherwood I have read, Patron Saints of Nothing I have not read, and The Secret History I have read. So it is the halfway point in the year, and I have read 7 out of these 10 books. I feel like that's pretty good. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You're the best!